Shout out, shout out.
Thank you. Well done, amazing work, you guys.
Thank you. Have you had breakfast, Olive?
No, I haven't. I was
Why?
hoping that I would come here and the smooth breakfast show would serve me some breakfast.
All right. Well, all the meal you need, all the snack.
Which kind?
Wow,
Wow.
Valentine.
I'm sorry, I couldn't keep a
Wow.
straight face saying that. Well, Lagos, thank you for joining us. You too can send us messages on WhatsApp. That number is 0809-444-0981. And you can also send it through Twitter. That hashtag
Is Grapevine 981. That's Grapevine 981. Follow us at Smooth 981 FM as well, so that you can get all the juicy details. Also, the songs we're reviewing today and some of the stories are posted on our Twitter page. So please go there.
So go check it out with that hashtag Grapevine981.
We're also streaming live
Yes, we're streaming
on
live on
Facebook.
Facebook. True. So on YouTube too.
on YouTube.
So type in Smooth 981 FM on YouTube. Once you find us, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Or if you have, shout out to you. Alright? And you can also leave a comment as we get along. Let's start very quickly. We have 2 videos and 1 song to review today. As Olive is checking out how to bust that sound.
Busted.
Oh, by the way, if you want to see what Olive looks like with her,
Mm.
I don't know if I've got shades, glasses, or a banner. You can
Wow.
watch our YouTube page. See what I'm talking about
You
right
know,
there.
we celebs don't just walk around like that and show our face.
No.
Just have to cover it up and
We
make
have
it.
to wear shades.
Yeah,
because our future's
right.
so bright,
So
eh?
bright.
It's the bright. Got to put some shades on it.
Exactly. Exactly. We're saying the same thing. Lagos, let's start with this. So 2 videos, 1 song. All right. So the first one is the song that premiered last week, or the video rather, that dropped last week. Falz. Hypocrite is the title of the song. You must have seen it on my Instagram stories, even on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I asked you to let us know what video you would rather watch, but tough choice, eh? Maybe not for some people. But let's check out Falz's Hypocrite first. Get to the song. Mics are out. You see how we censored it for radio? But the message is clear. Falz's Hypocrite here on Smooth 98.1. Thoughts, guys? Olive.
I particularly liked the chorus. I thought the chorus was so catchy. I liked I think it's Demmie, that's his name.
Yes.
I feel like they fused so nicely. I had to go check out who is this guy singing, because his voice is so beautiful. And I would say that Falz has become some sort of moral compass for our country. It's unfortunate that there's so many things that are going wrong, and it's easier to sing about girls and about alcohol and about a lot of things. However, it is more difficult to sing about the problems that we are currently facing with themes like the ballot box snatching. We're looking at religious fanatics and how the extremists, how they take things too far, domestic violence, sexual violence. There's several themes that were underlined on the song. And one of the things that stood out for me was the fact that whenever I wanted to see the alter ego of this so-called hypocrite, you would see the white of their eyes.
Yes.
So it's like the eyes switch up and then you see the white. I know, yes, they have unleashed the dragon. So I like that he's speaking up. I really, really respect
And
that.
I love that phrase he used, the moral compass of what's going on, and for people to be aware of the moral instruction that he's giving through this
Indeed.
album. So that's a tie-in for that. But Ayo,
I honestly wish he were here to discuss this video with us, but he's on a world tour. So
exactly,
unfortunately
we
he's
couldn't
not
drag
here.
him down.
Yeah, but for me, I would say that he's a modern day fella. So when you
Some
listen
people are
to-
going to fight you for it.
Ah.
As in, there's been so much argument about this thing.
No, he's a. I would say that
They will
he's a-
ask you that, has he been thrown in prison? Has
No,
he?
he doesn't have to be. He doesn't have, living in Nigeria is almost like prison. I'm not saying, it's just like I'm saying that you don't have to have experienced the death, and that's why I said modern day. Doesn't mean he's exactly like him.
Exactly.
And I'm not speaking in terms of what he has faced. I'm saying in terms of being bold enough to discuss issues that we skirt around. He's bold enough to speak about these things. However, my only downside is that following the challenge that Kiss Daniel did, I'm just like, can we not just get good music without having to resort to it not being suitable for our kids or our children?
For radio.
Yes, you're passing on a great message and it should be suitable for everyone to listen to. And whether you like it or not, it's still quite offensive to the ears of certain people. So I think whether he had used it or not, used the expletive, we would still have enjoyed the song, or we would have
So
still done the
let's try and
message.
do a remix of that. Everybody is a really super hypocrite. Oh.
Wow. Well done. I didn't see that
Thank you,
coming.
Olive. We should have featured you on this song.
You know. Yeah,
Okay,
but
so-
great job though.
Yeah.
Who else
Yeah,
loved the
well.
cameos? You know,
Love
the
it.
Oh, I
appearances,
did.
Alibaba,
Osasi Godaro,
uh-huh,
Kate
Kate
Henshaw.
Henshaw, not all.
Yeah.
I love
They really play-
Alibaba,
Yes.
and I think he's such a fantastic.
And I like what he was trying to represent with Alibaba. It's the fact that a lot of the people who are supposedly at the helm of affairs, who are supposedly in the legislature, they're signing in these laws, whereas they are doing the exact opposite in their closets. So it's just, we're living like our lifestyle. It's a real contrast.
conscientious video, conscientious statements that he made, just appealing to your conscience and appealing to your inner thoughts to really speak up about these ills. And it's so interesting. No, we haven't heard much about the thing with NBC at some point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a tongue-in-cheek moment for us. But
And I must add that he's a very bold guy, because we remember what he did with This Is Nigeria and how he got really attacked by for that song,
Yes.
and how a certain community came out at him. I was thinking he would not even make reference to them again, and he did in the new video. I'm like, bro.
In fact, he did so loudly and so boldly.
I'm
I was
like,
this
whoa,
guy.
uncle, you're not really afraid?
Uncle's a lawyer. Lagos, let's listen to the next video, or rather pay attention to the next video, the lyrics behind it. It is done this time around by, oh, by the way, who the director for that Falz Hypocrite video is Iyobosa Rehoboth. He's called Prodigy. Or Prodigy.
I didn't even know his real name.
I know, right?
Can we take
Iyobosa.
2 comments before we go,
Yes,
just
please.
on this Falz song? So good morning, Ayo, please don't vex me. Which modern day fella? What have you even sung? I think we overhyped this Falz big home. Zook, your opinion and mine. Farigo has something to say to Olive. Sent us a lovely meme saying a celebrity is a person who works hard all his life to be known, then wears dark glasses to avoid being recognized.
Oh, I love that.
So we're not, well, by that definition, we're not celebrities.
Yeah, I am. On my shades are in my bag. Speak for yourself.
So
bro.
your celebrity status in your bag.
No, I want to be, because we're being streamed live, and I don't want to be accused of what Farigo has said. So I'm trying.
You sound like
Let's
one of
not
those
even
people
lie.
that
The
Falz
honest
is
reason
talking
why a lot of people wear shades is
Yes.
because they probably had short nights and they have eye bags and they don't want you to see them.
or they're on something.
I was
Yeah,
going to say that-
sometimes.
You're speaking for yourself and you're in minority.
Or-
Wow.
Please, though, see my eye. Nothing is there.
But there's another reason. It's possible they are shy. Because a lot of
Oh,
celebrities
yeah.
are.
True.
I'm a shy guy, so I just call myself celebrity. All right,
Of
so
course
let's
you are.
let's go. I don't believe that. Let's go to the next song. Honestly, we'll have a full conversation about this, but let's not go into that now. The next video is by Falana. This one is off the EP Chapter 1. The song is titled Repeat.
Can we put it on repeat?
Yes, please listen.
I like the song.
Yeah. Falana is a good singer.
I feel like she's one of the most slept on artists. I wonder why she has not yet blown as much as she
Alternative
should.
song, the Army Day,
Kai.
many of them.
She's amazing.
Only Asha has been able to break.
Yes. Simi is trying. It's just that Simi is
We're
doing
going
a
back
mix
on.
of all of them.
Yeah.
Studio is live. Max are up. I know. It just does something to you as soon as the voice just glides in. But Olive, you saw the video.
Yes. Before I talk about the video, can I talk about her voice?
Yes,
and there's
please.
something, there was a song it reminded me of. The moment I heard it, I remembered Pink Family Portrait. And you should actually listen to that song if you've not heard it. The bass line is similar. You know, the voice texture is similar. I think she's absolutely talented. And I feel like, man, this babe should have blown more than she already has. She's one of the most slept on artists. She's amazing. Then for the video, I always applaud celebrities or artists who decide to make a lyric video, because sometimes you're not ready to put out a music video. But it's important that you put out the lyric video there for people who want to see. Some people don't even know what the lyrics are. So they go there, they see the lyrics video. It helps them understand the song. And you also can be making money while at it, because people are watching it and are getting YouTube streams. Yeah.
I mean, this video for me was really interesting. I love the use of throwback in terms of throwing it back to the olden days, and the use of those things. I was reading the comments, as I usually love to do on YouTube, to get people's opinion. And you know, people talked about how even in the video she infused the word repeat. So the frames were on repeat. It
Yes.
was creative
Yes,
genius.
yes.
I loved, her going back to the speeches by I saw Martin Luther King there. So going back to things that were, that we
Historic.
treasure historic. Yeah,
I actually
historic.
was mixing up. I think I mixed up what's it called, given to you in terms of talking about the lyric video. So whatever comment I said about lyric video, please use it for the
Transfer.
next
So,
one.
but this particular one is really good.
This one was nice. I like the black
Body
and
of
white.
work, yes.
The black and white, and the fact that there were some underlying themes in the video. You could see like protests and speeches showing resilience. You could see that there was an underlying theme of faith.
The history
still.
of struggle.
Exactly.
Of the African.
I think it's like the kind of song you play Black History Month.
I know,
Yes.
I know, because I had that. So back to your inference, Olive. Here's this, the song you're referring to.
Yeah.
That's right. It had the same, especially the way the song, the voice comes in.
Exactly.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So Pink Portrait it is, family portrait.
Yeah. So, but that's not the song we're reviewing. So let's get back to Falana. She's done a really great work on the song. I give it to her. Sad thing that she's outside the country. Good for her though, but just sad for us.
Yeah, it would have been great to have her on.
She's so amazing on the show.
Member of the Smooth family as well.
Oh,
She's
yes,
been
that's
here before, and we love Falana.
We do. If you're listening to the Grapevine right now, this is Smooth 98.1, and it's brought to you by Verve. We'll take a break shortly. I'll be back right after this.
When I come back, I want to talk about how is this planned? Did the Falana family pay you? First of all, you review Falana and Falana.
That's
Now you're
correct.
reviewing Falana music.
This is
We have to let people know that Falana is different.
Yeah.
From
Have you ever
Falz.
been on the queue at a
But I don't know why you would name your child Falana.
What does it mean?
Why not?
If Fa opens the way.
Are you serious? Speaking of Ifa opening
Yeah,
the
that's
way,
what I'm saying. That's what I meant. Like as a surname, it's usually as a surname because in those days they worshipped Ifa.
Sorry.
So in modern times, you hardly find people who would say maybe Ogun. You understand? That's I'm surprised. It's very unique. Either she's using her father's
Yeah,
name or
God.
a pseudonym. Yeah.
all these makeup artists that will go and put your before and after video, and somebody else has reposted it.
Yeah, they have
But it
exposed
means
you.
that people like it now.
Okay,
Somebody
so
else just reposted it on their page.
we're gonna come back with give it.
Okay, so we're playing it straight,
Yes,
right?
yes. Okay, thank you. Sure.
Courage has son to editor.
Why she did?
Eh.
You said that Falana means what?
Ifa open the way.
Okay.
I'm definitely recording this video on my page. Actually, I love it.
So
Look at you see. What possibilities?
Excuse me.
Verve.
The rewarding way to make things.
What is music to you? Music to me.
So yesterday I was searching through the web, like I was just on Twitter randomly, and I think my finger tapped on your handle and I bumped into that pin tweet.
Okay. Yeah.
That's why when I replied, it's really like, hey, I'm late, but still.
No, it's okay. That's why
Which
it's
tweet?
pinned now, so you can
The
see
tweet
it.
of,
My Twitter pin tweet. I
The
put my
news
Guardian
caption.
article.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
he just responded
really?
to it. And I
For
was like,
the International Women's Day one. Oh, you know me, my Twitter life is.
But
yeah,
back.
no, I put it even a while ago.
Sorry, easy. Guys, ready? Mics are up, studio's live. So the song is just pre-faded, pre-listened to. It's by Falana, the second track of the one EP, chapter 1 of the EP. The song was created by Okwe for Advertorial Films. This one is titled "Given to You." Olive, you listen to this one. This is the lyric video you're talking about
Yes,
earlier.
this is a lyric video. So this, I think that's something that every artist should do. If you are not ready to shoot a music video, always do a lyric video. What that does is that it increases your fan base. There are people who would check you up on YouTube so they see something.
Yes.
That way you're increasing your streams of income. With the more views you have, the better.
I like
And
how you
also,
choose that.
exactly.
Well done.
And then you're also helping people see what the lyrics are, because you find that there's some songs that you're looking for the lyrics online, but you can't see them. So it's always important. I like that. I like the feel of the song. I like her voice. I think her voice is very rich and creamy, and
Very
she's like
soothing.
the Adele and the Indiari of Nigeria, and then a bit of Pink of Nigeria. Like, she's a combination of all of this into one.
I can tell you really love Pink.
Yes.
Well, I love Color Red more.
Talking about the artist, though.
Jokes
Oh, you should know
Tuesday.
that Olive is the queen of dry jokes and puns.
Well done.
So that's why I laughed. You see, you didn't get it. You need to follow her more. All right. So, I mean, of course, we already talked about the quality and the texture of Falana's voice. I wouldn't emphasize on it, but beautiful song. Giving to You is just a song that is soothing, nice chilling, or when you want to get into the zone, you're, you know, in a place where you just want to maybe relax or just enjoy your day. Yeah, so well done.
Well done. Now, Falana is beautiful. Her song is beautiful. Her voice, absolutely amazing. Bringing out the song, really, the body of work, chapter 1 of the EP, is something that we've been waiting for a very long time. Remember the last time she came on this show last year, we asked her when the EP was going to drop, and she indicated around this period. So good to see that she lived through to her promise. And during the interview in 2018, she mentioned that she does a bit of jazz and Afrobeat soul, but not necessarily any of that. So wherever her spirit leads, she goes. And this one is what I'm here for. And Lagos, let us know your thoughts. Share with us what you make of the songs. Before the break, you heard the song to the video that was dropped last week, Falz's Hypocrite, that had a lot of cameos from Nollywood artists, the notable ones. The new music video as well, a repeat by Falana just before the break, and now given to you. Share your thoughts on WhatsApp through that number.
0809 4440981. We have some messages here.
Yes, please.
So we have from, I think this is very good. Zook actually says, "Oh, Falana, her voice is so soothing, giving the Erica Badu vibe." And then BA says, "Yay, Olive is in the building."
Yay,
Hi.
BA! BA, she
Hi.
sent me pancakes.
Hi, Val and Ayo. Falz is creative and speaking up in his music is good and bold. He's using his platform to pass a message. Shout out to Falz.
But if Simi does the same thing, we want to eat arrow.
No, not really though. What did Simi do?
Because that time when she came out to say that, you know, you're into internet fraud, you shouldn't
They
get her.
shouldn't
Also,
buy
That's
they
it.
not an
come for
excuse.
people come for Falz. Remember?
I think Simi's one was worse. It was
It was.
way,
But
way
every
was.
time you touch Yahoo Boys, they come out. There was someone else that did.
Nobuligwe
Yes,
last
every
year,
time
and
you
we
come
Mike.
against them, because it means that many of them are on social media.
Of
All right,
course.
follow the music. I love the jam.
Internet.
Our voice scripts on you says in your hands. And then also this one is from Ne. Ne says, "Hey guys, good morning. Please, what are the names of the Falana songs?" All right?
Yes. So one is given to you. That's the last one you just heard. Before that, it was repeat. So go check out just type chapter 1 of the EP, Falana. Falana is Falana.
Meanwhile, did you guys have a coup today in favor of the Falanas, the Falana affair?
They're not related.
Falana Falana first, Falz the bad guy, and then Falana music. So it's a Falana review today.
Unfortunately, it's not Friday. So
And they're
it would
not
have been
related. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Femi Funny guy. Dry jokes Tuesday. Oh wow.
Olive has infected.
No.
I know all those people who are
We
upset
shift.
about the comparison between Falz and other people
Yes.
and Fela. You guys chill. We didn't say he's exactly like him. We just made a comparison between
modern
Falana and Pink.
But you
Doesn't
buttressing
mean
is
that-
going to anger a lot of people
Of
more.
course, and I'll still say it again. It reminds me of a modern day fella. Please keep doing your thing, Falz.
Ooh.
And I know you stand. You don't sound like anybody else. I'm not saying you're a sound, but I'm proud of the fact that you're bold enough to speak about issues in your songs that many people will not dare to talk about.
People won't even post about it on their social media pages because they're afraid of being found to stand on one side. They'd
Reprisal.
rather be in the middle. You know?
Reprisals.
So it's a bold move Falz is making.
Talking
and I
about
applaud it.
reprisals, before we get to the Coachella story, let's talk about Ikechukwu, who's sent a direct threat to SARS, that's a Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the police, Now, reacting to the recent upsets that got the whole populace talking. Now, the rapper turned actor, that's Ikechukwu, made this known via his Instagram page on Friday, that's last Friday, while he was reacting to the viral video where a young man was brutally assaulted by men of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, who, by the way, the police authorities came up with an apology the next day and really chastised the officers who carried out this dastardly act. Now, Ike's statement reads thus, and I'm quoting him. He says, "When I say this, I really mean it. The day these type of individuals run into me, I might end up dying that day. Truth is, how much humility and calm are you supposed to have? Even if we want to believe that God is using the situation to test us, will he test us to our death and demise?" He asks. He says, "For what reason is such individual wearing the uniform of one who's supposed to protect and serve the same person he's bludgeoning and raping of his rights in broad daylight, so bold and so arrogant, with slaps to follow and insults, then more planking?" He continues, he says, "I beg you, please, cause I will disarm that FOOL and shoot him with his own gun. I swear on it," he said. If you... He continues, but that part is what got a lot of people talking. The part where he said he was directly threatening Falz that anytime he's accosted on the road and they anger him and they try to, manhandle him, he's going to disarm the person. And we know Ike has martial arts skills, at least for me. I know personal experience with him and all that. Not that
Wow,
we fought
so
before,
that means
but
they should be
they should just beware. But
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. I understand that we're angry. Lots of people are angry. There's been reported incidences of police brutality, and it's happening back to back. It's not like we're having a break on these stories. Now, it's unfortunate that the body language, it does seem that body language, lots of people have criticized the body language of the presidency. However, as public figures, we must be aware of our societal standing. We must be aware that the words we say directly impact the reactions of our followers. So, for example, several people reacted to the police brutality and the NSAS saga. We had Omotola, we had Lasisi Elenu, who usually does Sunday rants, but put out a post to say, "Oh, I won't be ranting today because I'm very displeased." So you can show your displeasure without actually inciting. Some people will take that the wrong way. I know he might not literally mean that, but some people take the things you say hook, line, and sinker. So they will take it the wrong way, and then they would interpret it to mean anytime I'm stopped by a policeman or I'm treated in a way I don't like, violence is the next option. Now, what do we have? More incidences of police brutality. So you don't meet injustice with injustice.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well said.
I think, like Olive mentioned, even though they always say, "Well, I didn't have to be anybody's role model," etc., etc. Celebrities have to take responsibility for statements that they make, on the public space, because people listen to them. Like you mentioned, if everyone decides to go crazy and starts to... Yesterday, I was stopped by armed policemen just on the road, just for nothing. Just said, "Oh, pull over," and said, "Check in," and I had to bring out my ID card stating that I was pressed for them to possibly, cool down. I think we should be civil, and you meant two wrongs don't make it right. Let's be responsible. As the police are trying to sort themselves out, please, your life is important. If Ikechukwu is saying that it doesn't matter to him, your own matters to you and to your family members and loved ones. So please, let's take responsibility for how we act until this is sanitized.
Well, this just reminds me of, and Olive, you're right, Ayo, you're right. I mean, we shouldn't use words to incite other people, because as much as we feel like we're still human, celebrities are humans, and their sentiments are real, like everybody else's. We shouldn't forget the amount of followership we have and the level of influence we have over every other person who's listening and paying attention to everything we say. Most people who pay attention to the statements we make would not necessarily have the judgment applied to our statements. They probably just go with its hook, line, and sinker. And it reminds me of the statement Burna Boy made last week, which was indicating that, oh, everybody just talks. People are making noise. When you guys are ready to go out in the streets and actually fight, call me. Those are statements that have been resonating in the minds of a lot of Nigerians. While some people might temper it down, like Omotola, who called out Yemi Osinbanjo, saying that a lot of things are going wrong. How can the leaders just be quiet and just pretend like they're not seeing what's going on? It's a real
She called
problem.
out both him and the president.
And the president, yes.
And President Buhari, saying things were difficult under their administration, and she was upset.
So these are real issues that we can't ignore. But we'll take a break. What we'll definitely not ignore is the fact that we have more interesting stories coming up. This is the Grapevine, and it's brought to you by Verb.
Welcome back.
What keeps you going when
So
everything
that was
should be a
the one
stepping
that
stone
erroneously
becomes
played,
a
that mistakenly
That
played,
one?
that mistakenly played that first.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
while
okay,
we're
okay.
talking, sorry, brought it back. It's supposed to be for 10, my fault.
So how did you put it back again? Yeah?
I moved it here.
helps you see nothing
Oh,
but
yeah,
possible.
okay. But I know I want to skip, so can't you?
I know, yeah.
Nice one.
Thank you. So when we come back, we'll take the messages.
No matter what you're into, is key.
Frida.
So I'm in Ayo's studio.
The rewarding way to make payments.
I go by the name E to the F.
Why is it blurred?
To me, music is love, and love.
Okay, we're coming back now.
Yes,
Music
we
is as
are.
In
powerful
17
as that
seconds.
bond between mother and child, and that connection
I have
between
good news for you.
soulmates.
Remind me later.
Music is music.
Studio's live.
Love music.
Love that.
We give you good music and we make it sound excellently because we try to weigh on it and make it a pleasant experience. You're welcome. This is still the Grapevine here, and Valentine just threw me under the bus. Thank you, Val.
I'm sorry.
But yes, we're here as part of Smooth Breakfast with Valentine.
And Ayo.
And of course, we have the lovely Olive with us in the studio.
Oh,
I like how you both call each other. You say you call Valentine, he calls Ayo. So who do I call?
you
Ayo and
you call us.
Valentine.
Lakumi.
yeah.
Who's our producer? All right, so let's go to messages.
Let's go to messages. All right, so Frida, thank you so much, my sister. She says, I think what Aya is trying to say is the boldness with which Falz addresses societal issues reminds her of Fela, not that their music sounds alike. Calm down, people.
So because she took your side now, she's your sister.
Of course she is.
Wow. Frida. Thank you for sending that message. She knows why I say I call her name out like that.
All right,
Sean?
then Sean says, someone please remind me, what martial arts do bullets study? Thank you.
Wow, that was rather loud.
Very loud. Just one line.
But you have a hearty laugh there. It's really nice.
Yeah. Laugh again. Okay.
So
Obi
that's not how I laugh.
Obi-Tan Kenobi sent us a message here on WhatsApp. Obi-Tan says, Ikechukwu must understand that righteous anger can kill in the society we live in. Focus your anger to generating a public consensus on the
Thank
issue
you.
to promote people-driven change.
Thank you. I think that's a lot better.
Amazing.
Says, guys, Ikechukwu is simply saying he'll defend himself if accosted. Self-defense is allowed under the law, so the SARS operatives who try to maim or kill him, which seems to be their aim, should know that he will defend his person and life. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Let's say,
Can I weigh in on the self-defense
Yes,
bit?
please.
Self-defense is very important. However, you must be sure that the degree of attack that you're experiencing, that the defense you're giving is commensurate to the degree of intended attack or the degree of attack you're receiving. So sometimes it might be you're having an argument to the police officer, but because you already have anger that you've been carrying about the past things that they've done, you now frustrate, it's a accumulated aggression and it makes you overreact.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, in pitching for self-defense, we must act. Is the action commensurate to, the action thrown at you?
Thank you, Barrister Olive Emodi.
Oh,
Wow!
well done.
Wow! Yeah,
Commensurate, well
I actually forget sometimes.
Okay.
That's actually
Oh, you are?
Yeah, she
Wow.
is.
Okay.
Trainers that she's speaking very. Don't forget all the slaying
So
pictures.
let me speak now.
Shade.
So you know how? No, I'm just kidding. But really, seriously speaking, talking about that, human emotion is unpredictable. So with all these things happening, my only concern is let's not go in the face of the police with a preconceived notion that they're going to be aggressive towards us, because usually that's what happens. So if they ask you simple thing like, "Oh gosh, what's your papers?"
You
what did I
jump on
do?"
him and collect his gun.
So and they too react that way because they expect,
Yeah.
And we must not neglect the fact that the Nigerian police force also has its issues. There are good people, there are bad people in the police force. However, we must talk about the fact that there's not adequate remuneration. They don't really. I don't think they have life assurance. There's so much rot.
See the remuneration issue that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Just yesterday we were reminded that allowance for a police station is like 2,000.
2000 to
Imagine.
maintain a
Police station.
Imagine.
All right, let's go to your comments. We have a few comments here.
Charles Chidozie says, if Falz does not remind us of Fela, who else does he remind us of? John Bovey. I love Falz anytime, any day, and yes, he's a modern day fella. His boldness is appealing.
It's my brother. Right
Talking
there.
about boldness,
Thank you, Charles.
people whose names did not appear in bold caps or caps lock on Coachella bill performed yesterday.
And he killed it.
He did.
Oh, I'm
So people
proud.
said,
Yes.
I'm
lots of people
proud.
are
Yeah,
very.
apparently he did. He performed really well. But there's a sort of comparison that's going on, which usually is rife when things like
Yeah.
this come up in the stories, between his performance and what's his name, Mr. Eazi's
Mr.
performance,
Eazi
right?
and Burna Boy
Mr. Eazi's set was so good,
on fire.
with the whole Lagos to London boss.
I
image
loved the
behind.
downfall
That was
boss
beautiful.
behind. It was
Yes.
lovely.
But performance-wise, what are your thoughts?
Do you know all I kept thinking? I wish Falz had taken Eazi Odige with him. You know, the lady that did that killing them choreography that went viral that had
Falz?
You mean
Sorry.
Mr. Eazi?
Oh,
I
we've
know.
been talking about
Falz
Falz
was
so
Well,
much.
it's not
My
you love
goodness.
Falz, so
It wasn't
go
even Mr. Eazi. I was trying to say Burna
Burna
Boy.
Boy.
Burna Boy, okay.
Burna Boy, you know, that killing them. There
Yes.
was a choreography that went viral.
Yes.
Eazi Odige.
Yes.
And he also had her perform at one of his I've forgotten the name of the event he performed in last week or so.
Mhm.
She performed. I just thought to myself, it would have been mad if this girl was on stage doing that killing them sets.
I know.
You know, so
I
yeah.
know.
I think you have visa to the UK because you know these things.
Oh, that's another. But she's not one of his dancers. She just did it. It went viral on Instagram.
Yeah, but she danced with him on stage.
Yeah, he invited her to dance with him on stage. It would have been lovely. I don't think there's any basis of comparison between these two artists. They're two amazing artists that are making Nigeria proud. We should stop pitching artists against each other. We do that a lot. Oh, Yemi Alade and Tiwa Savage. Oh, this one and that one. The two of them can be amazing and deliver their craft in the ways they deem best without us having to compare them unhealthily. It doesn't really make sense.
Yes.
They both did amazing.
And we've been saying Coachella, taking it for granted. Now, if you don't know what Coachella is, it's a Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival, holds annually, usually between 12th of April to 21st of April 2019. That's the bill for this year, and it's held in California, the United States.
So two
Now-
weekends and different artists from around the world come
Yes.
on stage to perform, and a number of Nigerians have actually performed. I think notably.
I think last year we had Whiskey.
Yeah, Whiskey, Tiwa Savage, I believe. I'm not sure. I believe so. So we had a number, and it's great to see artists like Eazi and
Burna.
Burna Boy. And Burna has had such a great year so far. In fact, people are saying he's now everyone wants a little bit of Burna in
I
their
mean,
lives.
Coachella that Beyonce shut down last year, that they turned to Beychella.
Let me
That's
tell you
what-
something wonderful about Burna Boy, and this is without bias. The fact that how many artists would you say drop a hit at a particular time of the year? For Burna, it was towards the end of last year with
Yeah.
Ye. And just as we are saying Happy New Year, he drops another one, and another one, and another one.
Back to back is a hit.
Not everybody sustains their craft and keep the tempo up that much. Why? Is because not everybody works hard as much as Burna would, and I wish a lot more artists would actually put in more work over hype.
Well, I don't necessarily agree. I still believe that there are lots of artists that work hard.
I didn't say
But
no,
time
no,
and chance happens
they
to them
all
all.
work hard.
However, 2018 was just the year for Burna Boy. It was the year where he came out to light in a way that nobody else has seen him.
Yes.
I think he was the highest winner at the 2019 Sound City MVP Awards.
yes.
And
And he
his
was
show
one of
was
them.
sold out. Oh yeah,
Yes,
his show was
one of the
sold
most
out.
talked about shows.
Burna Boy came out late, really late. Nigerians were mad. The moment Burna Boy came out on stage, everybody forgot their anger because he's like a spirit on stage.
Yeah,
He's
he-
absolutely
That's a
talented.
very great.
And his mom
description.
is a whole mood. Oh my goodness, I love her.
Ask me, I'll tell
You
you.
should watch,
It's a
you
whole
should
mood.
watch his videos of her on his Instagram page, and I'm
Yeah.
sure even on her page you
Yes.
follow her. She's such, she's so
An
funny.
amazing person. So let's talk about early marriage. So this was a conversation that trended on Twitter yesterday. Comedian Wale Gates got the most reaction from it. Somebody who was upset at people reacting. He actually said, "Well, I'll take us through." So comedian Wale Gates had a serious argument with the Northern Nigerian man on Twitter, who through his tweet implied that it is better to allow children to get married early than allow them grow and start fornicating early. Thoughts? Somebody reacted and said 175 people retweeted this nonsense, is what they said to him, because he reacted and says, well, the original tweet says, "Ladies and gentlemen, rejoice with the youngest couple ever." So the guy, the male, that's the groom, 17 years old, and 15
Look
year
at their
old.
picture.
I know.
They look like
They should still be changing
children.
their-
I thought it was a picture from a play when I first saw it.
Honestly,
but
you know
it's
like
real.
those plays that they do, mommy and daddy.
So now, unfortunately, we've not spoken. We've tried. I would say we've come a long way. There was a time when speaking about, child's rights was a taboo, but now we're starting to have these conversations. We're not where we should be, but we're not where we used to be. There's still much work to be done. I think the problem stems from the fact that if you look at the constitution, talking about the minimum age for marriage isn't something that is outrightly specified. Now, the Child Rights Act of 2003 specified that talking about 18 years being the minimum age. Stop smiling.
Go on.
Talking about 18 years being the minimum age.
Yes.
However, not all the 36 states have adopted that. We have about 23 or 24 states that have adopted that. And Sokoto, of course, is not one of those states.
Yes.
So what we're saying is that they are allowed to marry before. Some, what that means is that young people can get married as low as 12 with parental consent. I personally think that there are many down issues to getting married early. Apart from the fact that the girl we're talking about fistula issues.
Thank you.
And Nigeria has 10% of the world's most reported fistula cases. Marriage is not beans. Marriage is not something you go into because
there's the financial responsibility there. There's the maturity that goes into it because it's what he inferred in his tweets. Wale Gates says 175 people retweeted this nonsense. Early marriage does not stop fornication and sleeping around. In quotes, he wrote, support your children, in brackets, barely educated teenagers with no jobs to get married early if you can afford it. And to those who cannot, sell them off to an old man that can. I know that is... He was just, being cynical with that statement.
No, but they do make. So I can't. There's another Twitter argument or debate between women this time. Sorry, a teacher was saying, there are two people. There's a girl who's promiscuous in her class, and people are like, let her go and get married. Let them marry her.
Marriage does not end promiscuity.
No, in fact, he said no. It wasn't even promiscuous. That the girl was raped by her brother. And the other people from that same part of Nigeria were saying, let her be married off. That's the best thing for her to be. And people are like, what kind? And it's amazing sometimes when you engage people in debate to think or to sound how they think. What they're thinking, and we think that our problem lies in the National Assembly.
So it's unfortunate that even if the whole 36 states adopt these laws, that would be a first way to go. But implementation of these laws will now be a problem because there are many people who think that it's totally right. And it just pulls us back in our fight for gender equality, speaking about the rights of the children. Should they say we have the United Nations 2030 agenda, and one of them is, achieving the sustainable development goals. By a long way to go, very long way.
All right, talking about long way, well, the long road comes to an end, yes?
Yes.
So this is the end of the show. Well, we would advise that you refer to Twitter, the Twitter sphere.
Yes.
It's the whole village and community there. Go check out that original tweet. It says, early marriage is better than fornication. Support your children to get married early if you can afford it. You will help their life in this world and hereafter, is what the guy Abubakar Ehidima tweeted, and Wale Gates replied to that. Let's continue that conversation with that hashtag Grapevine981. We thank you so much for your messages.
Thank you.
Although Connection has a different story to tell, but we'll get to them in time. Thank you, Olive.
Thank you very much, Valentine.
Always
And
a delight to have you in the studio with us.
Thank you.
So how do we check out your dry jokes? Where?
Oh yes, you can check out my dry jokes on TV. I'm on TV every day from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. BSTV 259 on Wazobia Max. So please join me on
What's the name
TV.
of your show?
My show is Hello Nigeria. You can check out clips on YouTube, and I am as silly on TV as I am on the radio. And you can also
on Instagram.
actually silliest on Instagram. Instagram is at Olive Emodi. That's Olive Emodi. Follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men.
Wow, that part is something I'm still trying to grasp. But Ayo and me, we're still here.
We're still here.
Top of the hour, we're not going anywhere. For when you get to talk, Lagos Talks 981 is at 9 o'clock. Stay here.
It was nice doing business with you.